Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news and transfer news show. And guys, I don't even know where to start in this video. So much news has come out. Let me show you my notes. Like we've had the Halifax game, we've had this whole saga on De Jong. Reportedly, De Jong will basically rather go to prison than go to Man United. That's what Ornstein was hitting at. This whole Rabiot saga going on. This is all the latest on Rabiot. We've got ARNAUTOVIC links, SESKO rejecting us. Cody Gakpo links, also been linked to Real Betis, Guido Rodriguez's CDM. I mean, honestly, so much to talk about. It's just absolutely crazy what's going on at Manchester United, and I don't know where to begin. Do I talk about the behind closed doors game that went on today? Do I go into the rant? Do I go and talk about Rabiot? Do I go and talk about ARNAUTOVIC? Because honestly, if I'm being honest with you guys, I don't 100% know where to start. The club is a mess. The club is a mess, and there's people there that like Rabiot for some reason. There's people there that like ARNAUTOVIC. But at the end of the day, the reason I am mad and the reason I am fuming is because we don't have a plan. Manchester United do not learn from their mistakes. I tweeted this. When you make mistakes, you learn from them. But Man United haven't learned from their mistakes of not having a plan B, not having planning for the transfer window. You know, every year we miss out on a major target. And then we go and spend money on a 30-plus-year-old striker. That's what we're doing with ARNAUTOVIC. We did it with Ronaldo last season because we didn't buy a CDM. We thought buy Ronaldo, shut them up. We did it with Cavani the season before because we didn't get our targets in. We've done it with Falcao. We've done it with Ibrahimovic. We've done it with many strikers. We did it with bloody Ighalo. Now, some have worked out, some haven't. But Manchester United signing strikers over the age of 30 consistently because they've failed in the transfer window and they think, shit, we need to buy someone last minute. Oh, wait, we're at the end of the transfer window. So the only people around are people we've either got to overpay for or people no one wants. And then they wonder why we are nowhere near City and Liverpool. They wonder why Arsenal are now levels ahead of us. They wonder why Spurs are level ahead of us. Because Man United haven't learned from their mistakes. They haven't learned that you need to get the right players in, not players for the sake of it, not silly players. And the worst part for me is Man United are coming out saying they've done all these background checks. Man United apparently done all these background checks. Well, Man United, if you're being, Man United is saying that this transfer window, this was, Richard Arnold was saying, he went down the pub saying this transfer window, it's about getting the right players, not players for the sake of it. Man United saying all this crap, saying they've making sure that the players they get in are the right players. We need players that are going to be good in the dressing room. We're going to need players that what the manager wants. Man United doing all this about making sure and checking they get the right players. Well, if you think bringing ARNAUTOVIC in, a 33-year-old with no loyalty, some racist tweets in, is the right person for the dressing room, then I don't think you've done any checks. I mean, I think it wouldn't take a genius to figure out. I think in 40 seconds I could figure out ARNAUTOVIC isn't the right guy for the dressing room. But Rabiot, I'm more mad about Rabiot than ARNAUTOVIC. I can deal with ARNAUTOVIC if he's back up to Martial and Ronaldo. But Rabiot, Rabiot 4 years ago is a good signing. Rabiot is crap. Rabiot is so bad that I actually am thinking that Scott McTominay could be better than Rabiot. I think Rabiot is probably a better player than Scott McTominay, but Rabiot's attitude stinks so much that I think Scott McTominay is a better player than Rabiot. I will show you Rabiot's stats in a minute, but Scott McTominay has better stats in the Premier League than Rabiot has in the Serie A. Juventus have been desperately trying to get rid of Rabiot for multiple seasons. He's on ridiculously high wages. But not only are Juventus desperately trying to get rid of Rabiot, Juventus know we're desperate for a midfielder, and Juventus are going to con us into paying 20 million for Rabiot. Juventus got Rabiot on a free, realised he was causing issues in the dressing room, realised he was a controversial figure, and they've been trying to get rid of him desperately. Then Man United come along and go, you know what? Man United is stupid enough to pay 20 million for this guy. What the media try and make Paul Pogba out as is what Rabiot is. Media tried to make out Paul Pogba was unprofessional and a problem in the dressing room and agent issues. He's not. What the media try and make out Paul Pogba is what Rabiot is. Rabiot caused a massive problem at PSG, barely played in his last season. PSG desperately got rid of Rabiot. Fights with players, arguments, his agent, his mother's his agent, constantly causing issues. Rabiot refusing to play, Rabiot having strops, Rabiot acting like a child. Rabiot at Juventus refused to play, leaks, stropping, acting like a child, agent causing issues. Rabiot is everything this club's desperately been trying to get rid of. Last season, we had our worst season ever. And not only we had our worst season ever, but off the pitch, Manchester United was the biggest mess ever last season. We were an absolute mess last season off the pitch, yeah? Disgraceful mess. and all them leaks coming out. And Ten Hag's coming and he's trying so hard to amend the dressing room environment, get players out, make sure he gets the right players in. Bringing in Rabiot is a step back. Bringing in Rabiot is a player that's going to leak stuff in the dressing room. Bringing in Rabiot is a player that's known for causing dressing room problems. You bring in the right players and you get rid of the players you want to get rid of to get away from dressing room issues. And Rabiot is exactly not what we should be doing. From Jong, Antony, Nunes and SESKO to ARNAUTOVIC and Rabiot, well done, our CEO and Director of Football, need a pay rise. Bloody Glazers only doing business for art and motion. I said this earlier. I think Man United has become a social experiment to see how much pain people can take. I cannot believe that they are serious. I genuinely believe that this is some kind of social experiment just to see how much pain we can take. Seriously. Because how can we go from, in a space of 24 hours, guys, I'm not even lying, in a space of 24 hours, we've been rejected by Benjamin Sesko. De Jong reportedly would rather go to prison than play for Manchester United. McTominay is still our first choice midfielder. We've lost to Brighton. We are officially an absolute banter club. And the pain keeps going on and going on and going on. And Man United have agreed to sign Rabiot for 20 million. The board need the sack. Smash that like button if you think the board need the sack. Because any competent club, if they're bored, if Man City or Liverpool had a board that spent 14 weeks trying to sign De Jong, got rejected by De Jong, and then thought they're going to spend 20 million on Adrian Rabiot when you can get Neymar for cheaper, they would be sacked. They'd be sacked. It's a sackable offence. It's an absolutely sackable offence. All the time we've spent on De Jong to then go, oh, let's, you know what, go and spend the money on Rabiot. I don't care if we get Arnautovic. I don't like Arnautovic. He's a racist. I don't particularly want him at the club. But Arnautovic, there's the tiniest bit of logic in it in a short-term backup striker because the striker market's ridiculous and we've got Martial and Ronaldo for a season as someone that will sit on the bench. But that makes no sense in Rabiot. Yes, Man United need a midfielder, but it's like buying another Scott McTominay with attitude problems. That is buying Rabiot. Yeah, we need another midfielder, but let's not act like there isn't a midfield market. Yes, we've missed out on Fabio Ruiz. Yes, we're probably going to miss out on De Jong now. And yes, we've missed out on every single target. But Neves is about, Tielemans is about, Neymar is about for very, very cheap. There's lots of other, gems in Aouar for Leon. There's lots of other, Cooper miners. There's lots of other midfielders lying about in all of the leagues. So why are you going for a midfielder that causes issues that's barely played? It'd be like us signing. I don't know, but we've basically given Juventus Pogba for free, and we now want Rabiot for 20 million. I mean, that is a sackable offence. If we wanted a midfielder like Rabiot, you might as well kept Paul Pogba, because Paul Pogba's better than Rabiot, will cause less issues than Rabiot. It actually makes no sense. If you don't get De Jong, cool, but you should have had an actual backup lined up, not Rabiot, because we know Rabiot. United are going to try and play this off like they've been interested in Rabiot the whole time. I tell you this now. I think Arnautovic is a Ten Hag signing. I think Ten Hag would like Arnautovic, but there's no way in hell you can convince me that Ten Hag wants Rabiot at this club. I don't believe Ten Hag wants Rabiot at this club. I think Ten Hag would rather go and sign someone from bloody Ajax and overpay than bring Rabiot to this club. And United spending 14 weeks on De Jong meant that we've just lost out on Fabio Ruiz, our backup. He's gone to PSG. Sangaro signed a new contract with PSG. But Rabiot, mate, there's no way I believe that Ten Hag actually wants Rabiot at Manchester United as well. Ten Hag only yesterday in his press conference said before the game, it's about buying the right players. Ten Hag went on and on saying it's about buying the right players. Well, United haven't brought any of the right players. SESKO is switching one red ball team for another. I know, what a surprise as well. And Rabiot is better than anyone on midfield. I don't agree with Alice. He hasn't been getting the game time. Rabiot has been getting the game time because he's been causing problems off the pitch. Okay? The jury is out on Rabiot, Neymar. We should be getting Neymar. I absolutely agree as well. And 20 million for Rabiot is an absolute joke. 76 likes. Let's go for 300 likes, guys. So make sure you smash that like button if you have not already. And, of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. And, of course, share the video. Rabiot has poor stats, is poor at positioning, and is a dressing room wildcard. Let me show you Rabiot's stats, guys. I will get into the Halifax game because we did actually win 5-1 today with Ronaldo and Garner and a lot of first-team players. But let me actually get into the news. Honestly, let me show you Rabiot's stats if I can find it. Rabiot's stats, okay, per 90. Per 90, okay? Adrian Rabiot at Juventus ranked in the bottom 40% of centre mids in Europe per 90. 33 touches per 90. Guys, that is less than Scott McTominay. Rabiot makes less touches and passes a game than Scott McTominay. Only 2.42 passes a game into the final third and 2.49 progressive passes. Scott McTominay in the Premier League has better stats per 90 than Rabiot does in the Serie A. Rabiot makes 1.4 interceptions a game. He makes not even a tackle a game, one shot creating action. He offers nothing to goals and nothing to assists. I tell you this now, Rabiot is absolutely shit. Okay, there is no point, because if you sign Rabiot, you're signing a player that you're going to want to get rid of. Man United will want to get rid of Rabiot next season if they sign him, because he will be crap. And he'll be another player that on stupid wages that we can't get rid of, that will be causing issues in the dressing room, that I think will barely play. Because I'm telling you this now, Rabiot is an awful player. The fact that his Scott McTominay shows him up stat-wise says it all. He's not good. He was good years ago, and his attitude problems got in the way. He's not a good player. He's 27. He's meant to be in his prime, and he's not. He played 32 games last season in the Serie A. Didn't get a single goal. Juventus had their worst season ever last season, only getting into the Champions League just. You know, and the Serie A is a lot easier than the Premier League. Rabiot is absolutely crap as well, honestly. Adrian Rabiot is an okay player, but man, you don't need more disruption. The board need to go, Lol, says Daniel. You're absolutely spot on. He might be a little bit better than Scott McTominay, but, you know, we shouldn't be buying players because, you know, they're less shit than the current ones we have. We should be buying players because they're actually good enough to get to Manchester United as well. Honestly, I just cannot be bothered with it. I'd rather play Eriksen at DM than Rabiot, honestly. Honestly, I just do not want to see. I'd rather play Lisandro Martinez. I'm at the point where I'd stick Lisandro Martinez in Garner in midfield. Because yes, McFred is crap. Yes, we literally cannot go into the season with McFred. But I'd rather Lisandro Martinez play in midfield. I'd rather Donny play in midfield. I'd rather Garner play in midfield. I'd rather us play Sedanic more than Rabiot. He's just not that. As Nick said, United are in talks with Real Betis for Guido Rodriguez, a CDM that's 20 million euros. This is a bit of more positive news. Now, this is a player I don't know a lot about. I'm not going to lie that I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about Guido Rodriguez. But when I read up about Guido Rodriguez, 20 million euro DM, he's a midfielder I could deal with. Now, Guido Rodriguez, according to people, was 28, and he's an absolute defensive midfielder, has good tackling, good positioning, and good ball control as well. And a lot of people saying, there's a stat report on Guido Rodriguez saying he's very much the anchor type of man in defence. I wouldn't expect him to progress the ball loads or roam forwards too much, but he could shield the defence and provide some stability. Now, Guido Rodriguez, the player that we have been linked to as, and I hope we get him and not Rabiot. I tell you this now, this Guido Rodriguez guy sounds a lot better than Rabiot because he's actually an out DM. But Guido Rodriguez averages 3.5 tackles per game. So he's in the 89th percentile for tackles. He's in the 80th percentile for tackles won. He does obviously make a lot of tackles per game. He's very defensively sound. He's obviously the other midfielder we've been linked with. And I'd be a much bigger fan of us signing Guido Rodriguez. Cheaper than Rabiot, better attitude than Rabiot, can actually play DM. Rabiot's a box-to-box. I mean, that for me, if we sign Guido Rodriguez, it's disappointing because it's not De Jong, but it's an alternative that, you know, has some kind of logic behind it. He's a DM, he'll protect the fence, he can do a job. He's a Matic's replacement temporarily. But I don't even think Rabiot is a temporary replacement. I just think Rabiot is a filler. If you sign Rabiot, for me, he's a filler. If you sign someone like Guido Rodriguez, it's got a little bit of sense because actually he somewhat fits the profile and he's not going to disrupt the club. But my big problem with Rabiot is he's absolutely going to disrupt the club. Temsu says we could have got Neves and Basuma for a combined 90 million. You're absolutely right as well. You know, Leimar's available for less than 20 million pounds. I don't know why you spent 20 million on Rabiot when you can get Leymar as well. I tell you this now, and I said this in my video earlier, if you watched my video earlier. If Ralf Rangnick was at Manchester United, we wouldn't be signing Rabiot. If Ralf Rangnick was at Man United, he would have found us some hidden gems at one of the RB Leipzig clubs. If Ralf Rangnick was at Man United, we'd have probably got Leymar in instead of Rabiot. We would have got someone good in if Ralf Rangnick was at Manchester United. But unfortunately, Ralf Rangnick comes out and says Man United need to bring in 10 players and get rid of 10 players. And Man United are going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, how dare he call out the board? How dare Rangnick expose the board? And Man United thought, fuck off, Rangnick. So Rangnick, that comes out saying we need to get rid of 10 players and we need to get 10 players in. Man United sat Rangnick for being disruptive. But we watched the Brighton game. We've looked at what Man United have done in the transfer window, and I think Rangnick said nothing but facts. So smash that like button if you agree with Rangnick, guys. And of course, do subscribe down below if you're new, because a lot of content's going to be coming up over the next few days. I know I took a bit of a break from live streams, but I've got so much to get into. I do want to actually address the De Jong news. I do want to address the Halifax game. Man United did beat Halifax 5-1 today in a behind closed door friendly at Carrington, and the Manchester United players that didn't feature got got a few minutes yesterday, currently playing in a behind closed door friendly at Carrington. And apparently Heaton, Bailly, the starting lineup for Man United versus Halifax today was Heaton in goal, Bailly and Lindelof as the centre backs, Wan-Bissaka right back. I think it was Telles left back with Ronaldo up front with Garnacho on the left, Elanga on the right, and then Garner and Malassi was the left back, and Garner was in midfield with, I believe, Zidane, Iqbal, and Donny. I think. I will have to check that. Let me just scroll down because I'm just in the super chat, guys. Please do get your chats in. If you put a chat in 5 minutes ago, you can repeat it because I've just skipped down. But Alex Marvin says reports are now linking us with a link if it's Savage. If the deal happens as well, then that's confirmation we're not getting De Jong. You're absolutely spot on, Alex. I think the fact I've always been 90% on Man United getting De Jong. I've always thought Man United were going to get De Jong. I've always been confident. There's still a part of me now thinking, is this some game? Because we haven't actually got the Rabiot deal done or over the line. We've just agreed it. There is a small part of me now saying, is this some game? Is Barcelona saying he's going to Chelsea to get Man United to pay De Jong's wages and scare us? Is Man United going in for Rabiot to scare Barcelona? But the fact that we're getting linked to more and more midfielders, and it seems like we are going in for more and more midfielders, says to me that maybe United have bought De Jong. I said we only need to be worried about going to United if Man United all of a sudden are getting linked to midfielders like Rabiot. Because as soon as Man United start getting linked to loads of midfielders and start looking at loads of midfielders, it's because they're worrying about De Jong. And honestly, I generally am so confident De Jong's going to come to United, but all of a sudden now we're being linked to Rabiot and loads of other midfielders. We conceded a goal to Halifax in a behind closed door friendly. I can't believe United conceded a goal to Halifax today. It was obviously the centre back part who played in defence today. It was Lindelof and Bailly as the centre backs today, with Wan-Bissaka at right back and Malassi at left back. Man United did, unfortunately and embarrassingly, did concede a goal in a fight, but we did win the friendly 5-1. I think Garnacho and Ronaldo scored, I believe. I think Garner scored as well. I know Garner did play as CDM versus Halifax today from what we've been told. But I want to get into the news. I want to actually get into something that's come out and been said as well. What happened to Declan Rice? At this stage, he may end up being cheaper than the crap we're wanting now. Exactly. I'm at the point where if United spent 100 million on Declan Rice, I wouldn't even care. You know, at the beginning of the window, I was like, don't spend 100 million on Declan Rice. We need to adjust 5-6 positions. Looking at the McTominay versus Brighton was McTominay, because everyone gets annoyed how I say it, versus Brighton was awful. Ralph was 5 before 10 Hag even came in. He barely met Eric when he was leaving already. Ralph said too much and the board did not like it. Spot on. But man, Ralph Rangnick, I tell you this now, Man United are going to get Arnautovic and Rabiot. But if Ralph Rangnick was here, you're looking at us getting Lema and Nkunku. I'm telling you that now. But United don't want any more ambition. United don't want anyone to tell them how it's done. United got rid of Rangnick because Rangnick had ambition and told United how it's done, told United to act like a proper club. And that's why we got rid of Rangnick as well. Alice, who do you think the replacement for De Jong is? As it stands, Rabiot, but I think we'll sign 2 midfielders. I think considering De Jong would be 80 million, I think we'd sign 2 midfielders if we don't get De Jong as well. Best 11, Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Malassia, Garner, Iqbal. I'd say Garner, Donny instead of Iqbal, Eriksen, Sancho, Ronaldo, Garnacho, but pretty much, yeah. Just have to wait for Chelsea or Barcelona to hijack Rabiot and Arnautovic. Honestly, they can do what they want. Apparently, De Jong still wants United, and all the talk of him not coming is from Spanish press that are close to Laporte. That is a very good point, and that's why I still have positivity that De Jong can happen, because I think it could be games from Barcelona as well. As Numaruna said, we do need 2 midfielders. One's not enough, because if we get De Jong and he gets injured, you're back to McTominay as well. But yeah, it's an absolute mess at United. Yes, but I'm sure Ten Hag wanted 2 players and wasn't considering any other choices. And now he can't. It looks like the board are just absolutely ruining Ten Hag. But I do want to get into some more news stories for you guys, because look, Rabiot's a mess. The Rabiot situation is a mess, but there's lots more to talk about. So obviously, Manchester United played Halifax in a behind closed doors friendly today, in which Man United reportedly we won that game 5-1. Now, obviously, apparently Garnacho scored, Ronaldo scored, Garner scored. We'll probably get more details of it today. But these are obviously the players that played in behind closed door friendlies. So I believe the midfield three was Garner, Iqbal, and Donny, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But that is the lineup that played in the 5-1 win versus Halifax today. But I want to get into the news. I want to get into the Jong news. I want to get into the stories as well. But the media is also creating a lot of negative hype for Man United. It's affecting our potential signings, says Charles. And can we send McTominay and Maguire to Stoke for free? Someone tweeted it today. It might have been Goldbridge. And they said something like United acting like Stoke in 2010 this transfer window. And it was absolutely right, to be fair, as well. And United are not a football club anymore. United are a circus. But Man United, you know what? I said this earlier. Spill a bit of my drink, great. You can't even compare Man United to the circus because the circus actually has to be organised to put on a show. And I refuse to believe that Manchester United are organised. I actually refuse to believe we're organised. Now, running into the news, and now this is actually the news that's come out because I have ranted for 20 minutes and I've got news to get into. So Jamie Jackson, who's a very good journalist today, works for The Guardian, said that Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag still retain hope of De Jong arriving at Old Trafford. And Fabrizio Romano went on the United stand today and said that while De Jong still wants to stay at Barcelona, he said Manchester United are ready to compete with Chelsea for a signature if and when the player makes it clear he wants to leave. Barca will hold discussions this week. It's important they find a solution. So Jamie Jackson did say regarding De Jong, Ten Hag still thinks he can keep De Jong at United, still retains hope. Romano said that Barca are looking to find a solution this week and United are still in for him. Now, Jason Burt of The Telegraph said that Manchester United are planning a bid for Adi and Rabiot should their attempts for Frenkie de Jong continue to fail. We've made a bid for Rabiot, which could hint that our attempt for de Jong has failed. And Jason Burt of The Telegraph said it is possible that Manchester United's interest in Rabiot is part of an attempt to force Barcelona into negotiating on Frenkie de Jong, but there is an admiration for him from Ten Hag, who believes he has potential to improve his central midfield, which I don't believe. We don't want Rabiot in midfield. I don't believe Ten Hag wants it. But the interesting report that came out, and this was a massive, massive report that David Ornstein broke today about Frenkie de Jong. And David Ornstein said, and this Barcelona told Frenkie de Jong this the day after we agreed a fee with Barcelona for de Jong. Barcelona have told Frenkie de Jong they want to annul his existing contract and return to the deal he was on before, alleging the terms given to him by the club's previous board involved criminality and provides grounds for legal actions for those involved. The letter sent to Frenkie de Jong last month is thought to inform the Dutchman that Barcelona think they're in a position to initiate criminal proceedings to establish what happened in relationship to the signing of his contract. And David Ornstein followed this up by saying that the previous Barcelona board are confident in the legality of the contract of Frenkie de Jong signed in 2020 and insist the deal was agreed after approval from legal parties in La Liga. But basically, David Ornstein is coming out and saying that a month ago, basically, Barcelona threatened de Jong with legal actions if he doesn't leave. Barcelona are going to threaten de Jong. So de Jong's been threatening Barcelona with legal actions for his wages, but Barcelona are reportedly going to threaten de Jong with legal action if he doesn't leave, saying that his contract was given by the last owner and trying to force him out. David Ornstein also said that Chelsea do have a firm interest in Frenkie de Jong, and while it is understood they're yet to submit a formal bid, sources indicate they're prepared to fund the transfer fee and cover the salary debt. Now, the fact that David Ornstein is coming out saying that Chelsea are prepared to fund the fee and cover the salary debt for de Jong says to me, A, Chelsea are all in for de Jong and going to get de Jong, or B, Barcelona are telling Ornstein this, Barcelona are leaking this information because Barcelona do not want to give de Jong his money. And Barcelona know how desperate Man United are for de Jong. Barcelona know Man United is so desperate for de Jong. It's so obvious we're desperate for de Jong. We do not have a plan B and C. We've made that clear. Barcelona probably watched McTominay playing and thought, yeah, they need de Jong. Could Barcelona be playing us into paying de Jong's deferred wages? Could Barcelona make out that Chelsea to de Jong was much closer than it was, and that Chelsea would play de Jong's wages to get the deal done, to scare Man United into actually covering the 17 million of de Jong's deferred wages? There is a small part of me that thinks Barcelona could be playing Manchester United and absolutely saying this to the media to scare us, because we are so desperate for de Jong. Any club that has a player that Man United are desperate for can play Man United, because we don't have clever people in the transfer market. We've made it clear we're desperate. We've made it clear we don't have any other options. If we don't get de Jong, we don't have an option B. We don't have an option C. And Barcelona know that. And Barcelona could take the mick as well. We don't know whether Frenkie de Jong is fit for the Premier League. I believe he is, because Ten Hag will build a team around him. I think Malacia, Eriksson and Martinez, whenever they've played under Ten Hag, have been great. And I think all the Ten Hag's signings have been great. But honestly, it's just embarrassing as well. I rate Man U performances a 3 out of 10. I rate Man United's transfer window a 2 out of 10 as well. Guys, what do you rate the transfer window right now as? Tell me in the chat, what do you rate the transfer window right now as? But I actually think either we are going all out for Rabiot because we fucked up De Jong and we're not getting De Jong, we're going all out for Rabiot in a panic, or we're playing games with Barcelona because Barcelona wants to pay the third salary. Now, David Ornstein did say this, and this is where we can have some hope, guys, for this transfer window. De Jong has not made a decision yet into what team he's going to join if his departure does end up materialising. So reports that De Jong had chosen Chelsea are not true. David Ornstein says De Jong hasn't made a decision. De Jong has not chosen Chelsea. I mean, I think for me, that is the only positive I can take out of this. And Frenkie de Jong does know, according to Andy Mitten, there's interest from Manchester United and Chelsea, but apparently de Jong's told at least 2 people he preferred Chelsea and London over United and Manchester. So reportedly, Frenkie de Jong's told people he preferred Chelsea over United, but, you know, this could be Barcelona saying this to Andy Mitten to scare United into paying de Jong's deferred wages. There is a small chance that Barcelona are playing us with this de Jong to Chelsea stuff, telling all the journalists it's more than it is, to see if they can scare United into paying de Jong's deferred wages so they don't have to as well. Andy Mitten also said that Manchester United will hike up pressure to sign de Jong in this transfer window. The lines of communication between United and de Jong's agent at Barcelona have always been open, and United are assured the deal is not dead. The interesting bit of information coming out is that United have said that the de Jong deal is not dead. De Jong deal is not dead as well. And it also came out today saying that Manchester United have not wasted so much energy into a deal for Frenkie de Jong if they did not think it could be done. Barcelona think that United have behaved in the correct manner as well. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I'm going to share this on my screen for you guys to read. I want your thoughts in down below. I don't want to waste too much time on Frenkie de Jong, but you know, the fact that we're going all in for other midfielders doesn't fill me with confidence, but there's still a chance. And as you can see, you know, Man United are hiking up the pressure to sign de Jong as well. Do not want de Jong anymore. Bored of clowns. I think when you watch McTominay play, I think I'd do anything for de Jong as well. Hassan says, Alice, we need Yuri Tielemans and Igrafin Sangare, Moussa Diaby, Denzel Dumfries to compete for the top four positions if we sign them. You're right, but Man United don't think like that because Man United are idiots in the transfer window as well. People saying 2 out of 10. Let me know in the chat what you rate our transfer window out of 10. Guys, I just want to say, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, and of course smash that like button. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I do. Oh, what's that? Because I do watch-alongs to every single Manchester United game. I go live every single evening, keeping you guys up to date on all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. So if you want to see rants, if you want to see transfer news updates, if you want to see match reactions, match previews, insight, tactical videos, but also if you want to see watch-alongs, make sure you're subscribed because we are on the road to 50,000 subscribers. And as I am speaking right now, we're on 43,798 subscribers, guys. I'm only 2 subscribers away from 43.8k, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Only 2 subscribers away from 43.8k, and smash the like button as well. There's no room for Bergwijn. Bergwijn's gone to Ajax, hasn't he? I feel Erik ten Hag and de Jong have an agreement which we obviously don't know about. De Jong will wait till the last day of the window, will come to United only out of respect for ten Hag. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of agreement between de Jong and ten Hag verbally and secretly that de Jong will come to United purely because there's no other logical reason to why United would spend 14 weeks on de Jong and not have any other target. The fact that we spent 14 weeks on de Jong, we don't have any other midfield target, for me says surely there's got to be a verbal agreement with ten Hag and de Jong secretly, because no other club would spend 14 weeks trying to sign a player, reject all the other players, not have a backup option if they didn't think the player was going to come. So there has to be, for me, I think it's only logical there's got to be some kind of verbal agreement between de Jong and ten Hag, but honestly, we don't know. I'd love, you know what I'd really love to know is what ten Hag thinks about all of this. I'd love to have a private chat with ten Hag and just know what he thinks about this de Jong situation, know what's going on, because from the outside, this club is a mess as well. Barcelona are shambles of the club. Look, Man United are shambles of the club, wasting 14 weeks on de Jong, not getting Antony in time, so we've been priced out of a move for Antony, missing out on SESKO, not getting ten Hag's targets, and even Werner's gone to RB Leipzig. I would have taken Werner at this rate. You know, Man United are a shambles of a club. The one thing I will say is it's not Man United's fault, the de Jong situation. Man United could have handled the de Jong situation a lot better and have been mugged off. But the de Jong situation is all on Barcelona being a shambles of a club. It's all on Barcelona being a shambles of a club. But unfortunately, Barcelona have got away with it because United are an embarrassing club as well. Make sure you smash the like button, guys, as well. Please do subscribe if you're new. SESKO rejecting United to go to RB Leipzig, which for me, I don't blame him. As Diego says, make sure you subscribe. How can you blame SESKO for wanting to go to RB Leipzig? If you're a young player in the Austrian Bundesliga, you're only 19, the Bundesliga is a better league to go to than the Premier League if you're a really young player and you just need a little bit more experience. I don't think he's Premier League ready. But also, if you go to RB Leipzig, you're playing at a sustainable club that play good football, that you know is a sustainable club and going to give you the opportunity. If you go to Man United, it's an unsustainable club. You're on the bench and it's a mess. So part of me can't blame him. Play the kids and offload Jones, Bayern, Tuanzebe and the rest of the deadwood. I agree. Antonio Valencia told Moses Caicedo, told United to buy Moses. Yeah, Moises Caicedo would walk right into our first team. Brighton's Moises Caicedo would walk right into our first team, and it would have cost us £4 million. And United said no as well. A big up Red G for the support as well. Frenkie de Jong has no Premier League track record. Gilmour and Gallagher have. They are young box-to-box players. Gilmour was crap on loan. I do like Gallagher. Is Gallagher still at Chelsea? I don't think they've loaned him out. I would take Gallagher as well. This is one of the worst markets ever. I mean, I'm giving this transfer window a 2 out of 10. Let me know down below what you're giving this transfer window out of 10. Alice, we totally reach desperation. It's beyond sad. It's so obvious that United are desperate, and we don't really know what agreement Erik ten Hag and De Jong have. The media has spun the news since day one. You're absolutely right. And Timo Werner leaving Chelsea. RB Leipzig have kept Nkunku, signed Timo Werner, and got Benjamin Sesko in. And Man United can only get Arnautovic. It's an absolute joke, isn't it? Moussa Dembele is striking option. Haven't been linked to him as well. Rabiot, if we do get Rabiot, offer him a 2-year contract max, because I think Rabiot is an absolutely crap player as well. I really do. Sponsors want out of Man United as well. Continuing with the news. So it came out today that Manchester United have agreed a deal with Adrien Rabiot. Manchester United have agreed to sign Adrien Rabiot according to Damarcio. A fee has been agreed. It was also said by Samuel Luckhurst, and I'm going to get this up on the screen for you guys now, that the fee agreed with Juventus is an initial £15 million, potentially rising to £20 million, says Samuel Luckhurst. You're telling me we could be paying £20 million for a Rabiot with 1 year left on his contract? Is taking the mick. It's absolutely taking the mick. Neymar, 17, 18 million. Basuma was 5 million more. You're telling me we'll pay 5 million less for Rabiot than Spurs did for Basuma? Tielemans is 5 million more than Rabiot. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. But Man United reportedly have agreed a fee with Juventus, 15 million rising to 20 million in add-ons. Now, Ornstein obviously broke the news this morning, saying Man United are working on the deal to recruit Rabiot. Rabiot's in the final 12 months of his contract at Juventus, blah, blah, blah. But Ornstein said this, which was really interesting regarding Rabiot with Manchester United. He said Manchester United must decide whether to close out their proposal of signing Rabiot in respective of their ongoing attempt to secure De Jong, or wait to discover how the pursuit finishes before making a decision on Rabiot. Now, Ornstein's kind of saying that United might, before they sign Rabiot, might just check up on the De Jong situation. But Ornstein's kind of hinting that if we get Rabiot, it means we're not getting De Jong. Man United would only go for Rabiot if they didn't think they were getting De Jong. And it's been reported that if we do sign Rabiot, we would sign another midfielder alongside Rabiot. We'd sign 2 cheap midfielders if we don't get De Jong and we do get Rabiot. But if United go out and sign Rabiot and get a deal done, if we get a Rabiot, here we go. I think that means that the De Jong deal is 100% off as well. Samuel Luckhurst also did say that Manchester United have a fee in principle with Juventus for midfielder Adrien Rabiot, but United still have to negotiate personal terms with the player and his agent, his mother. Now, I'll tell you this now. Rabiot's mother, crazy woman. You don't want to be messing with Rabiot's mother. Absolutely crazy woman. And Man United have now going to go to Rabiot's mother and try and negotiate some stuff with her. Like, literally try and negotiate some stuff with Rabiot's mother. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. You're telling me that we're now going to go to Rabiot's mother and try and negotiate some kind of deal? Rabiot's apparently being reluctant to join United. Rabiot's apparently being difficult with personal terms at Man United because Rabiot wants money. Rabiot will only go to United for the money as well. Attitude problems are contagious. We don't need another Pogba. Pogba's attitude was fine. And not an Arnautovic. Rabiot is what they make out Pogba to be as well. 20 million is nothing, but you can get a lot of better players for 20 million as well. And Sesko is staying at Salzburg for another year before leaving, which is probably why the deal went through to RB Leipzig as well. But honestly, Rabiot's mum is apparently mental. Apparently, he's the reason he fell out with PSG, and she's the reason he's fell out with everyone at Juventus. And Rabiot's mum is one of the most hated people in football, and she's who we're dealing with. It was also said by Samuel Luckhurst that Manchester United are at acceptance late last week that they have to pursue alternatives in case Frenkie de Jong does not agree. Despite agreeing a fee with Barcelona, Manchester United are getting worried about De Jong and have had fullback targets being kept warm. Rabiot is one of them. And Fabrizio Romano went on the United stand today and did confirm that United are in direct talks with Rabiot to understand his ideas and plans. The problem is now on the player side. The thing is, we've agreed a fee with Juventus for Rabiot, but the problem's on Rabiot's side. Rabiot's not that keen on coming to United, which is a massive red flag. But Man United seem to avoid all the other Rabiot red flags, and the biggest red flag of all about Rabiot not really caring and only wanting his money, United don't seem to care about. And it's obviously it's not a Ten Hag signing. It's obviously a United panic signing. And Man United panic signings, they normally flop. They normally cause dressing room issues, and they're always a bad idea. Romano did say that Man United do have an interest in Rabiot and Adrien Rabiot, and direct conversations between both clubs did start last week, and Juventus are open to selling the midfielder. Don't you blame them? And Rabiot will cost about £17 million. But the fact that Romano said we're working on signing Rabiot, the talks are ongoing. You know, we haven't had an agreement on the players' side. Rabiot's mother, Veronica, is involved. The agreement with Juventus is not an issue. They're open to sell Rabiot. So it's been said United have agreed with Juventus to go for Rabiot, but even Rabiot's causing issues. Personal terms, Rabiot's causing issues about joining Man United. How embarrassing is that? And Rob Dawson said that Man United have made contact with a number of midfielders in the event that a deal for Frenkie de Jong does not materialise, of which one is Rabiot. Rabiot is one of the midfielders we've made contact with in case de Jong doesn't materialise. The deals could be pushed through quickly. So us signing Rabiot would mean de Jong is basically off as well. And Ornstein did say regarding Rabiot to Man United, he said, despite the timing of the story, a deal for Rabiot is something United have been working on for some time. He's among a number of candidates United have been considering. And Ornstein did say he understands that Rabiot is a leading target for Manchester United in central midfield. If pursuing him is not a knee-jerk reaction to yesterday's result, then this is something that has been happening for a while. So according to Ornstein, Man United have always planned on signing Rabiot, and it's not a reaction to yesterday's negative result. Man United have briefed Ornstein. Man United briefed Ornstein. Ornstein gets his information from someone directly at the club. United are trying to make out that they've always wanted Rabiot to Ornstein. Absolute bullshit. Ornstein did say that Rabiot is maybe an alternative to Frenkie de Jong, but it could be an addition. David Ornstein did not rule out the fact that we could be getting someone as an addition to Frenkie de Jong as well. SESKO and Fofana will be better than Rabiot. SESKO and Fofana will not want to go to United as well. Pogba hates Rabiot. Apparently, he can't vibe with Rabiot if he plays for the same club together. Apparently, that's what Juventus are eager to let him go. Well, Rabiot's caused so many problems at so many clubs as well. Honestly, it's an absolute joke. It's not even 20 million. That's the problem. It's the 5-year contract on 250k a week. Yeah, he wants a 5-year contract on 250k a week, Rabiot. And if Man United give him that, then they're absolutely stupid. Only a stupid club would agree that with Adrien Rabiot. And look, we are a stupid club. We know we're a stupid club. We spent 5 weeks bloody negotiating for Frenkie de Jong. Sorry, not 5 weeks. I wish it was 5 weeks. Fucking 14 weeks negotiating for de Jong. We don't have them. But United would have. I know United haven't learned from any of their lessons. I know we haven't learned from any of our lessons, but I just don't think we can make a mistake that bad, surely. Apparently, Varane, Van der Beek and Tyrone Malacia all played for Manchester United against Halifax coming in, that Varane did get some minutes as well, and that Ronaldo did start for Manchester United in a behind-closed-door friendly against Halifax at Carrington Day, which United won 5-1. The Mail have confirmed that Ronaldo did play in the friendly, and that got Eric Bailly, Wan-Bissaka, Alango and Garnacho played alongside Ronaldo, Varane all today in the friendly as well. That's coming out big 5-1 win for Manchester United. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe down below if you're new. Man, you had a good pre-season games, but they mean nothing. Many teams change a lot. Exactly, they mean nothing. And the fact that Ten Hag went into the first game of the season with Mutfred as the starting midfielder is a disgrace. Man United have needed a midfielder for years. We needed a midfielder last season. We didn't get one. We've lost 2 midfielders. We needed a midfielder last season, and we've lost 2 midfielders, and we still don't have one this season. And signing Rabiot is just a panic signing, because you know what, that Palhinha would walk into that Man United side that's gone to Fulham and was really good versus Liverpool. Bruno Guimaraes was available in January when we desperately needed a midfielder. Basuma would have been 25 million. We turned down signing Kamara on a free. Tchouameni was available. Man United have missed out on so many midfielders, and then to go for Rabiot when there's the likes of Leymar available and lots of others is crazy. Rabiot is a club signing, not a Ten Hag signing, exactly. And Ten Hag's made it clear he only wants players that he wants at the club as well. United were probably in for numerous midfielders that wouldn't join us, as we're stuck to dregs in a transfer. Man United, I think United, and Romano said this. Man United don't have a backup plan for de Jong. Man United don't have a backup plan for de Jong. So if United don't get de Jong, any midfield will be signed was not in the plan, and that would just be United last-minute panic buying. Any other, so Rabiot is not in the plan, and that is the craziest thing as well. I don't want that PSG player Rabiot. PSG desperately got rid of Rabiot because he was causing issues. Juventus desperately trying to get rid of Rabiot and getting money from him is a joke. Make sure you smash that like button, guys. And of course, subscribe down below if you're new. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest news, make sure you subscribe as well. Varane is Rabiot's good friend, doesn't matter. Donny under Ollie, Ralph and Ten Hag substitute, give the guy a chance. I'm at the point, for the next game, I'd play Donny and Garner on a pivot. I'm even at the point where I'd stick Martinez in midfield, even though he's great centre-back. I don't want to see McFred, I want to see Donny and Garner. I either want to see Garner and Eriksen in the pivot with Bruno higher up, Donny and Garner in the pivot with Eriksen in the 10, or I want to see potentially Fred, Donny and Eriksen. But I tell you this now, I do not want to see McFred. I don't mind seeing just Fred, but I do not want to see McTominay and I do not want to see McFred play as well. Lozano, decent alternative to Anthony, won't cost as much. Yeah, there's a lot of decent alternatives to Anthony. We are looking at Cody Gakpo as an alternative to Anthony as well. We were looking at Hakim Ziyech, however, that's gone quiet, but we will have to wait and see what Manchester United do. I think there are some better alternatives to Anthony than we're looking at, but I think United don't want to spend much money on a right winger because I do think we're just going to go all in for Anthony next season as well. Please have a special clause so club can terminate your contract if you're not performing and creating a negative environment. I'd absolutely love that as well. RB Leipzig could be title contenders. They could be, but with Bayern Munich, that league is just such a thing. You're talking absolute sense, Alice. I could have predicted what happened yesterday. Honestly, I literally said versus Brighton. I'm not confident because we're going in with McFred. It's embarrassing. We all knew that this was going to happen. And the worst part about the Brighton game was when we found out that Man United were going to be going into the Brighton game with no new midfielder, with Ten Hag not being ready for the season, with the manager not being backed, and McFred as the starting midfielders. None of us are surprised we lost because we all thought, oh, this could happen because they've not backed the manager. But for some reason, the board were absolutely shocked by the way that we were outplayed by Brighton and lost to Brighton as well. Ten Hag needs time. In 4 years, we can certainly judge him. That's not enough to get his own team. Exactly. I'm not going to judge Ten Hag this season. Ten Hag could finish 15th and I'd still be Ten Hag in because I ain't going to judge Ten Hag this season. I'm telling you this now. Would McTominay make the first 11 of any other club in the Premier League? He wouldn't make Fulham's, I'll tell you that now. Maybe I don't think he'd make Nottingham Forest. I still think Garner's better than him. I think maybe Bournemouth. I don't know. I don't think he's a Premier League player. Over 700 people watching. So as Diego says, please do subscribe. Beak and Garner greater than McToilet. Sub this guy. And Rabiot will not make it in the Premier League. I mean, Rabiot's stats are absolutely dreadful. I'm telling you now, McTominay has better stats than Rabiot as well. I'd never give a player like Rabiot a 5-year deal. It would be if we do that. Honestly, it would be absolute craziness as well. Who scored the 5 goals? Reportedly, Ronaldo and Garnacho were involved in some as well. Danny, Drinkwater deal with United has been agreed. I wouldn't even be surprised. Guys, let's go for 500 likes, so please do smash that like button. Can we revive the Timber deal? No, we fucked it. Sangare signed a new long-term contract, so we can't get Sangare. And Arnautovic looks like potentially the next one. We'll get into the Arnautovic story. We'll get into the Arnautovic story for you guys. Basically, United are confident they're going to complete a deal for Arnautovic. We had a €9 million bid rejected for Arnautovic. However, United are going to go back in for Arnautovic and up the bid because Ten Hag wants Arnautovic. And Manchester United are reportedly 100% confident they can get a deal for Arnautovic done. I want to show you something here, guys. I'm going to compare Scott McTominay and Rabiot's stats. Are you ready? I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how big that is. Does that help? This is Scott McTominay versus Rabiot. Now, if you thought Scott McTominay was bad, remember, Scott McTominay averages more passes and touches a game than Rabiot. Scott McTominay has a higher pass completion rate than Rabiot. Scott McTominay does more progressive passes than Rabiot. And Scott McTominay does more progressive carries than Rabiot. Now, and this is Rabiot in the Serie A, a slow and easier league compared to McTominay in the Premier League. So that just tells you why I don't want Rabiot at Manchester United. If you can see that. That absolutely tells you why I don't want Rabiot at Man United, because those stats are absolutely shocking as well. I'll see if I can find a better zoom in on that, but those stats are absolutely shocking. I mean, let's get into the news as well. We've been linked to Guido Rodriguez, but it's best to wait for some better sources, as United Active says. Gary Neville did say yesterday the time has come for the Glazers family to sell Manchester United, and the time was a long time ago. But look, this is our squad. This is our squad. This is our squad, guys, if we sign Rabiot and Arnautovic. Rabiot, McTominay, Fred, Elanga, Jong, Arnautovic, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw. This is our backup. These are our backups in every single position. That is the state of Man United backups in position as well. United board like problems play. Honestly, the United board, I think are just idiots. The United board just don't make any sense. They just like problems, don't they, as well? McTominay makes 6 to 12 passes in the entire game. I mean, honestly, McTominay in the first 48 minutes last game made 8 passes. I can't believe he wasn't subbed off at half time. I can't believe McTominay managed to play 80 minutes as well. Well, that can still fit into United's squad. What a joke. Exactly. How come the club are not doing the homework before signing Rabiot? Because they haven't had enough time to do the homework. What's happened is, when you do your homework just before, what's happened is I have a lesson at 12 o'clock and it's 11 o'clock and I realise I haven't done my homework. So I have a 10-minute gap between lessons and I try and complete my homework in 10 minutes. Now, if I try and complete my homework in 10 minutes, it's absolute shit. I'm getting a D in my homework if I could try and complete it in 10 minutes rather than, spend the week time I had to do it in. And that's Man United. They've realised there's not much time left and they've tried to do their homework in 10 minutes, so it's going to be crap and it's going to be a D. And that's what they've done going for Rabiot. Absolutely awful as well. 250k is an absolute just joke. We better not do that as well. We could, honestly, I think El Neni and Ceballos would start in the United midfield as well. Alice, it's the same team as last season, so I knew the outcome. The board of football people are not football people, totally clueless. I think the board were generally shocked. Because we've watched McFred for 3 years. We know McFred are not good enough. But I generally believe the Man United board was shocked. I don't think the Man United board were expecting to lose at all. Guys, we're on 43,799 subscribers. I am only one subscriber away from 43.8k, 43,799 subscribers. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe down below. It's completely free to subscribe, and I go live every single evening on the channel, keeping you guys up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. So please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Will be appreciated. Sack the board, sack the owners. I agree. Rabiot's only worth 80k. I agree. Paredes is better than Rabiot. I agree. Tolisso is better than Rabiot. We have McFred, but Delo was equally poor. Yeah, but there's a player in Delo. He's only 21, 22. McFred, we've seen them play enough to know there's not a player. United, we may be acknowledging that this true rebuilding year put Garner, Garnacho and Iqbal in. I'm at the point where I'd rather us not sign anyone than sign the wrong players like Rabiot. I'd rather us be going and throwing in those kind of players. I generally would as well. It's just embarrassing. Let me scroll down. I mean, look, the club is a mess. If I go through the news, it's just an absolute mess as well. Let me refresh. Let me see if any news has come out as well. I mean, I'm just waiting. Every time I refresh, I'm waiting for more negative news. I mean, look, I follow United Plug because they tweet all the news. They plug you, as they say in their name. Look at them. Okay, every single story. So we've got obviously the Van der Beek, Tyro Malacia, Varane played against Halifax. That's good to know. Ronaldo obviously started today in a behind closed door friendly versus Halifax. That's great to know. But we get told who the referee was. But this is the story coming around. This is the only positive story for me. That maybe this Guido Rodriguez, who I don't know a lot about, but I'd rather have him than bloody Rabiot, cost us 20 million euros. At least he's a DM. At least he's a CDM. At least we're signing a DM. A DM I know nothing about. A DM I don't know if he's good or not. But at least United are going in for signing a DM. But again, this isn't a tier 1 journalist. This is a tier 2 journalist. So this could just be a load of bullshit. The last 24 hours has been absolutely crazy. We are linked to players left, right, and centre as well. United still want to sign Frenkie de Jong, guys. Manchester United have not ruled out both signing de Jong and Rabiot. I mean, honestly, this was the interesting one. David Ornstein did say he suspects from some sort of noises that he's got that around the Abbey and Rabiot situation that Man United might look to do this deal additionally, whether de Jong will happen or not, and that actually United want Rabiot and de Jong. I just don't know why we want Rabiot. Look, if Ten Hag really wants Rabiot, I will respect it. If Ten Hag comes out and he's like, I really want Rabiot, Rabiot is the player I want, blah 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 blah, then I will respect it. But no one said that. We know Arnautovic is a Ten Hag signing, but no one said that Ten Hag wants Rabiot. No one has come out and said, yeah, Ten Hag's decided Rabiot's what he wants. Ten Hag's all for Adrian Rabiot, because I don't think he is, guys. I really don't think he is. Paredes to United, someone we're linked to. I'd rather get Milinkovic-Savic, and I don't like Milinkovic-Savic. We're just linked to him every year as well. Let me just take a quick sip of water. Let me take a quick sip of water. Only 131 likes needed for 500 likes, as Diego says. Guys, can we hit 500 likes by the end of the video? Bit of a question, can we? And ARNAUTOVIC and Rabiot can't be the players Erik ten Hag wanted. Is he being sabotaged again? Let's go. Let me stop this. Let me write a list of the players Erik ten Hag requested. Let me actually write a list of the players ten Hag requested, okay? So let's go over to my notes page. Okay? We'll scroll to the bottom of my notes page. We'll scroll just here, okay? Let's zoom in here. Let's make it bigger. Let's write down all the players ten Hag wanted. So obviously, top of his list is De Jong, okay? And then after De Jong, he wanted Nunes, and then he wanted Antony. And then who else did he want? He wanted Timber. Obviously, he wanted Eriksen, who he got. Eriksen, dub, we'll put got. Where's the brackets? Got. He obviously wanted Malacia, who he got. And he obviously wanted Martinez, who he got, which is brilliant. Brilliant. But if we actually look at ten Hag's list of players, this was them. De Jong, Nunes, Antony, Timber. You know, and then later on we got linked to SESKO, but we didn't get SESKO. We failed SESKO. Then who else have we been linked with? Quite a few players. I think Nkuku was a player at one point that we were linked with. Tchouameni was a player at one point we were linked with, but I don't know if Erik ten Hag wanted them or not. But these 5 players ten Hag wanted and didn't get. Okay, these 5 players, the players ten Hag wanted and didn't get. De Jong, Nunes, Antony, Timber, SESKO, and De Jong is still ongoing. You know, there's other players that ten Hag was a fan of as well. Obviously, Dewey and Timber being one. Obviously, the Sandra Martins being the other. But you know, we were also linked to we're linked to Kante at one point. United is this whole big mess. Okay, you know, I can name they're the players ten Hag wanted, and they're the players we know ten Hag wanted. And not once was ARNAUTOVIC mentioned, not once was Rabiot mentioned. And that is United realising that, you know, they fucked up. And just, you know what the funny thing was? I was complaining that we were getting linked to Tielemans and Neves. But literally, after complaining about Tielemans and Neves, once I saw the Rabiot news, I will take Tielemans and Neves. I generally would as well. Because honestly, anything is better than Rabiot. And the reason I don't want Rabiot isn't because he's an awful player. I don't think he's a great player, but it's the attitude he comes with, the problems he comes with. And that is everything, honestly. That was everything everything we don't want is the attitude problem, especially what went down in the dressing room last season. The only positive about today is because everything's been negative about today, everything's been awful regarding United, but the one positive about today, guys, is there's been no dressing room leaks. That is the one positive. There's been no dressing room leaks. Rabiot comes in, it could change. Now, someone tweeted this today called United Harry, and it was a really good tweet saying, if this was Antonio Conte's first window, he would have walked. You know, the way Man United have treated ten Hag this transfer window is nothing but a disgrace. I tell you that Anthony Conte would have walked out. He would have walked out. I cannot believe Man United have... Ten Hag, when he was interviewed for the Manchester United job, went in. He was going... Ten Hag said he'd only take the Man United job if he was going to be backed. Ten Hag said he'd only take the Man United job if they buy the players he wants. Murta and Arnold promised Ten Hag all of this and they lied. You know, at least give Ten Hag a year and then let him realise you've lied to him. Ten Hag's been at United 2 months and realised he's been lied to and realised he's not been backed. United have broken the promise within 2 months. At least do what you normally do with managers and lie to them for the first year and then in the second year throw them under the bus. But no, United lied to Ten Hag and now they're throwing him under the bus. We have got a super chat here that I need to scroll down to, so see if I can find it. Thanks for Cuddler's Life for the super chat. As a Chelsea fan, I remember the days when you'd be afraid United would hijack your transfer because of the sheer status of football. Now the club is shambles. You're spot on. You're spot on. No one wants to come to us because we're an absolute mess. No one wants to come to us because we are an absolute mess. And it's embarrassing. I mean, look, as you can see on my screen, all the United targets, all the Ten Hag's targets that we've missed out on, potentially, because United are a mess. And you're telling me that we can't get players like Antony? We couldn't attract Timber to this club. You know, it's an absolute mess as well. I want to share my screen with something else on you, but the treatment of Ten Hag's been appalling, and I don't even care if we finish 15th, guys. You've got to back Ten Hag. Doesn't matter where we finish, he shouldn't be treated like this. You've got to back Ten Hag because look, United Ryan tweeted this. It's actually hilarious because Kamara was there for free, Basuma 25 million, Vitinha 35 million, Ruiz 22 million, Sangare 31 million. Release course before yesterday. Leymans and Tielemans are right there now for 25 million each. Nunes from Sporting is 35 million, but we want to spend 20 million on, of course, bloody Rabiot. It's a joke, guys. It's an absolute joke. I'm gonna Alice signings. Are we buffering? But look, nothing will change to the Glazers go. I agree. They changed the board, but nothing's changed because at the end of the day, the Glazers don't get footballing people on the board. They could have had Ragnick, they could have had Paul Mitchell, they could have had Michael Edwards, but they stuck with a Scouser and a rugby man. That is our board, mate. That is our board. I mean, just so many players as well. Hardly any first choice targets were delivered for Ten Hag. It's absolutely embarrassing as well. I just think, do not turn on Ten Hag. It does not matter where we finish in the league. It does not matter how bad we get. Do not turn on Ten Hag. Turn on the board. Put the pressure on the board because he's not been backed. He's not been backed. We lost 2 midfielders. Ten Hag, well, the first thing Ten Hag did when he came to United is put midfield as a priority. He said he wanted 2 midfielders. United said if he got Dion, they could only deliver 1. First thing Ten Hag did was pinpoint midfield as an absolute priority for Manchester United when he got to the club. And we start the first game of the season with Fred, who Ten Hag doesn't want. They were all these players. And he was not back. And I will tell you this, I will say this to you guys now. Back Ten Hag. Do not turn on him if things get bad. Because I think things will get bad. This club is an absolute mess. But stick by Ten Hag, back him. Because things are going to get nasty. Things are going to get bad. But he is our manager and he needs to, we can't turn on him because he's been thrown under the bus by the board. And look, I'm going to wrap up today's live stream here. But please do smash that like button and do subscribe down below if you're new. There's going to be so much content coming out the next few days. I've got a new series that I am going to release this week. I'm doing a bit of a reactionary. I've got this new series. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to wait for you to see it. But I've got this new series where I'm kind of, responding to you guys and things that you guys say. And it's a series that you guys can be really involved with, a really interactive series, potentially coming to the channel this week, if not next week. I'm going to release it on a day where the news is a bit quiet because it's more of an interactive series, but I've got watch-alongs, I've got match reactions, I've got news updates. There's so much going on at the moment. So do make sure you're subscribed if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Share the video. I just want to say thanks to everyone who watched this video, and I will see you next time. Probably some rants, hopefully some positive videos though. The club is a circus, and big up everybody that tuned in. As Diego said, put the notifications on, and thank you everybody for watching. See you next time, and bye.